Episode 2. A lot to talk about this time. Got Super Bowl, NFL contracts. We got NBA, college basketball, even Antonio Brown, man. So this is a full episode. Mike, what's good?
What's going on, bro?
How you feel, bro?
Chilling, man. Ready for episode 2. A lot of content this week, man.
How you feel, though, bro?
How I feel good, bro.
Like truly, though. Like, for real.
I feel good, man.
How your mental health, bro?
Come on, dog.
Legit, bro.
I'm good. I'm great.
All right. So, I'm going to start off with the Super Bowl. I was wrong about this. Chiefs won 31-20. Mahomes had the crazy comeback in the fourth. Yeah, man, the 49ers gave this one away to me. I feel like they gave it away. Kyle Shanahan clearly didn't learn from his mistakes. Didn't run the ball when they had the lead. Man, I guess I felt like the 49ers were a better team, but when push came to shove, they just didn't make the right decisions. I feel like it's a lot on coaching.
I agree. Definitely was wrong, but I agree with more of, like you said, the 49ers gave it away more so than the Chiefs are a better team. Mahomes is definitely head and heels the better quarterback, which we both know makes up for a lot. But it's almost like we expected it. 49ers went up 10. It was like they finna come back. It's 3 games in a row. They didn't did it. So after the sack, I believe it was a sack, I was like, they need a big play.
Mm-hmm.
Right after Tyreek Hill bomb. It's like, oh man, here we go again. So, like you said, they should have run the ball. Why not run the ball? You got 3 good running backs, the best tight end in the game, one of the better offensive lines in the game. Keep running the ball. Like, I'm not understanding why you want to turn this into a passing contest with probably the best quarterback in the game right now.
And on the first down, they went for, I think they ran the ball for 5 yards, and then they just went away from it. Like, it was clearly working.
Yeah, I'm not understanding that one at all, man. And then on top of that, you can't. I don't want to say Jimmy G isn't good because he is, but at the end of the day, you got Mahomes and you got Jimmy G. You don't want to put the ball in Jimmy G's hands talking about go match Mahomes. Because we saw at the end of the game, they actually had a chance when he threw that bomb to, who was that? Emmanuel, I believe it was, when he overthrew him in that last possession before that.
Wide open. He had him beat.
Bro. But it shouldn't have even came to that, like you said. Just keep running the ball, make it a lot harder, make them use their timeouts, whatever the case may be. Save your time. I don't know why they didn't use the timeouts on the Chiefs drive either. Because when Damian Williams scored, you would have had a minute 45 with a timeout instead of, what it was. So,
yeah, it was a lot of questionable things throughout this game. Like, you even saw, was that the owner that said they should call a timeout? Was it the GM?
John.
In the first half. Mm-hmm. So it was that happened, and then obviously Jimmy G overthrew him. He missed Kittle a few times. One time he was wide open, missed him on a big third down.
Yeah.
Do you think he got exposed the way people are saying this?
Jimmy G. I don't think Jimmy was ever that great of a quarterback to begin with.
So I think he caught a little hype throughout the season.
Yeah, I mean, even still, his numbers wasn't amazing. He had double-digit interceptions. So, but you got a top 3 running game, best tight end in the game, best defense in the game. I mean, it's a lot to cover him up. You don't have to do much, play action, 5-7 yard pass here and there isn't much, So, exposed, maybe. Maybe a little exposed to.
Well, the comparison is just crazy. I mean, he was going against Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl.
Right.
So if you feel like he underperformed, a lot of people are going to underperform when Mahomes on the other side of the ball. Like, not many people are just going to put up points that quick in the fourth quarter comeback. Like, it's just, that's why I said I feel like it was on coaching because they know what they have. They know what positions not to put him in. This is why you have this running game that's so good. This is why you had this great pass rush. This is why you have this great defense, even though people are saying Sherm got exposed too. I don't know what you feel about that, but I feel like I only saw Sherm give up about 2 plays. They were just big plays, though.
Yeah.
It just seemed like when push came to shove, they did attack Sherm, that it really wasn't what it used to be. Mm-hmm. Outside of Tyreek Hill, all the other big plays seemed to be on Sherm's side when Mahomes ran the read option. When the last touchdown, You know, it just seemed like they definitely attacked Sherm. It didn't used to be like that. So,
well, I mean, how many corners in the NFL can stop the Chiefs receivers? I mean, let's be real. The Chiefs receivers are the fastest by far in the entire league. As far they attack Sherm. Yeah, I would say that, but I'm not mad at the 49ers defense at all. Like, they pressured Mahomes. Mahomes actually had for his standards, a normal game. You know, he had some bad moments, especially in that first half. It's only so much you can do with an offense that great. So I'm not mad at the 49ers defense at all.
And in all fairness to Sherm and all the other defensive players, they played a lot in that fourth quarter.
Definitely.
They didn't get a good rest.
Chasing Tyreek Hill and Nicole Hardman all game. And now, you know, you got Mahomes throwing bombs, and eventually you're going to get tired. So they did attack his side. Sherm is also probably the oldest defensive player out there. So, you know, it's a little give and take, but it's definitely more on coaching, I would say, than playing, like actual players.
Yeah, I would go with coaching too. So, definitely was wrong about the prediction. Shout out to the Chiefs for winning, though. Even though I'm a Pats fan, Brady fan, but they won. Mahomes getting a lot of hype. They talking about greatest postseason ever. Just what he did, the comebacks he made. They're talking about nobody has done this in their first couple of years to this extent. He's only started 2 years, been in the league 3, but obviously his first year didn't play, just watched. He getting a lot of hype, man. Maybe hype not even the right word, because so much of it is justified, but just when you start hearing greatest of all time in certain forms, I just feel like it's kind of heat of the moment kind of thing.
Way too early for greatest of all time.
Yeah.
Maybe the greatest career start of all time. I would accept that, you know. MVP last year, Super Bowl champion this year, Super Bowl MVP this year. So that's definitely a crazy start, but greatest of all time, I would slow down.
Yeah.
Slow down on that one.
Yeah, agreed. But around the Super Bowl time, you always get NFL awards. So just gonna run through the awards, see what we disagree on. Defensive Player of the Year, Stephon Gilmore.
100% agree.
Agree with it too. First cornerback since Charles Woodson in 2009 to win that award. Nick Bosa, Defensive Rookie of the Year. I feel like that was clear. We all knew that one. Kyler Murray, Offensive Rookie of the Year. I saw some people disagree with this. They like Josh Jacobs. I thought Kyler Murray had a year that he shouldn't have had. I feel like they should have been even worse, even though they weren't even good. The team was terrible. I mean, he has, I know, like 2 receivers on the team. You know, the O-line is trash. The defense is worse. I mean, what was he working with?
Right. You know, and they got a little better when they got King Drake, but I definitely feel like he overperformed. Maybe from our standards. I don't know like what the rest of the world thought he was going to do or how good, you know, but I know compared to our standards, he overperformed. Like they were definitely in some games. I know for sure I was watching a Thursday nighter and they were playing San Francisco and they still had a chance to win. Like he had them in a lot of games. You know, with his best receiver being a 34, 35-year-old Larry Fitzgerald, you know, he's good, bro. He's good. Josh Jacobs, he's good too, though. I'm not gonna take nothing away from him, but I wouldn't argue with Kyler Murray.
Yeah, I would have went with Kyler Murray too. And I felt like they were in some games that they shouldn't even been in. Like the fact they beat Seattle towards the end of the year, they were in a game with the 49ers. Like they were just in too many games that single-handedly because of Kyler, in my opinion. So, Michael Thomas, Offensive Player of the Year. What do you think?
Yes, but you can definitely argue Christian McCaffrey for sure. You can definitely argue it, but just off the strength of Michael Thomas breaking the reception record we might never see that again. And then he played half the year without the starting quarterback. So, yeah, it's hard to go against Michael Thomas. Plus, he's a Buckeye, so, you know, I ain't going to argue that one.
Yeah, he's the only wide receiver outside of Jerry Rice to win this award. You know, I feel like there's been so many great wide receivers that didn't get this award. It's kind of odd that Michael Thomas is the second one to get that, to me. But, like you said, he played 5 games without his starting QB, broke records. And I think the difference between him and Christian McCaffrey is the fact that the Saints just were in the playoffs. I feel like that was a huge difference too when it came to that decision.
Yeah, I mean, nothing against Christian McCaffrey, but the Panthers are terrible. You know, the Saints are definitely an all-around better team. But what Christian McCaffrey did is, I feel like it's kind of underappreciated because he's not really getting a lot of acknowledgement for it. You know, I mean, he got the Pro Bowl and All-Pro, obviously, which is deserved, but he's literally the main focal point week in and week out. You know, you got DJ Moore, who was an upcoming receiver, but outside of that, most people probably can't even name me 5 players on that offense.
Yeah.
So Christian McCaffrey getting the ball 80% of the time and still producing the way he produced, definitely should get some acknowledgement. But
yeah, I feel like his acknowledgement kind of goes down a little bit just because of the marketing aspect when it comes to Carolina. I mean, Cam was like their biggest marketer. Cam's not even playing right now. Another surgery. You know, it's just kind of like derailed the team. You know, just fired their coach. Like, it's just a lot is changing in Carolina. The thing with the Saints, they just consistent. Drew Brees again, Sean Payton again. You know, they get a lot of headlines, especially since the call 2 years ago in that playoff game. So there's just a lot more attention on the Saints, and Michael Thomas breaking the record is just gonna see what they do.
Right, yeah, for sure.
So then the Ravens get 2 awards: John Harbaugh, Coach of the Year; Lamar Jackson, MVP; Lamar Jackson, second unanimous winner since Tom Brady. So those are the only 2 to ever get unanimous MVPs. You know, it's kind of, you look different at that once the season is over. You know, it's kind of like in the NBA when Harden, Russ get MVP, and then once the finals is over, it's like, I forgot they won that. Like, they weren't even anywhere close to this point. But had amazing regular seasons. I guess I wouldn't. I feel like they got most of these awards right. I really wouldn't argue any of these awards. Coach of the Year, I guess I would go there. I mean, they had such an amazing year. I feel like they were getting talked about as one of the best Ravens team of all time. So that was bound to happen. As far as Lamar, he did have an amazing year in his 3rd year. His 3rd year. So yeah.
Second year.
So yeah, I would agree. Yeah.
MVP for sure. Regular season awards, like, you can't go anywhere else other than Lamar. You know, the next closest people was Russell Wilson and McCaffrey, and both of them are like so far away from what Lamar did. Coach of the Year, though, it was a couple choices. Yeah, Harbaugh wouldn't have been bad.
I feel like Seattle
Shanahan. Yeah.
I feel like Seattle, they had a good chance at that too. Just the fact they were losing so many bodies throughout the year, so many adjustments. Like,
yeah, Pete Carroll did a great job adjusting to all those injuries, and Buffalo too. Yeah. Buffalo wasn't expected to be what they were this year. I mean, you could go Mike Vrabel in Tennessee. It's a lot of places you could have went, but you know, best record in the NFL, it's like, you gotta get Coach of the Year at that point.
Yeah. So once again, Lamar Jackson, MVP; John Harbaugh, Coach of the Year; Lamar Jackson, the second unanimous winner other than Tom Brady. Speaking of Tom Brady, going to his contract with the Patriots, it seems like the Patriots are going to offer him big money, which we were completely surprised about because we talked about this weeks ago, that we felt like this would derail the team of what they could bring in if they give Brady big money. But Brady has been underpaid in the past a lot, so maybe this is them trying to make up for that. But it definitely sounds like a Robert Kraft, non-Bill Belichick thing. Doesn't seem like this is what he would do. But, you know, I'm all for it. I don't want him to leave. I feel like he should end his career there, and I feel like they're only a few changes away from being what they used to be. But obviously, if you give all this money to Brady, that can't happen.
Right. And my question would be, okay, you pay Brady $22 million a year, which that's what they said, 22.
I'm hearing like 30.
30. That's,
he got 23 last year.
Yeah, so that's a lot of money. My question would be, who would you bring in?
And I'm interested in who's bidding against this. Like, why did you go to 30 off bat?
Right.
Like, he got 23 last year, maybe go 25, 26. Why jump to 30?
It's a market for him for sure. You got to think it's some teams, maybe teams that feel like they're that Tom Brady away from a championship.
Mm-hmm.
I can name one team right now, the Chargers. I'm pretty sure the Chargers said they're moving on Phillip Rivers.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee you, they think they get Tom Brady, they're still competitors.
At 30 mil though?
Maybe not 30 mil. That's a lot of money.
That's a lot.
But I mean, that's for us. If they feel like 30 million is worth a championship Super Bowl berth, then they're willing to pay that.
The Chargers do seem a quarterback away. The division is getting tougher with the Patriots, so I don't know, man. I feel like that money would definitely derail any type of move they would be able to make free agent wise, trade wise. They just wouldn't have the access of money if they give Brady that amount of money. So I guess Brady is looking at this as, okay, you want to pay me now, but I'm not trying to have a year like last year. I'm only paying. He feel like he's going to play another 3 years. He's 42, wants to retire at 45. So he's got 3 years left. He wants to win for sure, but I feel like at the same time, he definitely doesn't want to leave. So I feel like he's just going to come in the room and just ask, like, what else are we doing besides this? Especially when he doesn't feel wanted by the coach. You know the coach already tried to get rid of him once. That's why I said this comes off like a complete Robert Kraft decision and not Bill Belichick decision, because Bill Belichick's way would have been had Brady gone.
Right.
Years ago.
And that has to be the question. That has to be the main question. Okay, you're not going to underpay me. Cool. Great. But what else are you going to do? I don't know the Patriots cap situation offhand, so I can't really say, 30 million is too much. But I do know the market for playmakers isn't that big, especially offensive playmakers this year. So you pay Brady, but what do? You put your faith into a rookie. You try to trade. They don't have many trade assets because they're not that young of a team. It's like I said, I think they should just maybe try to bring in a less quarterback, upgrade somewhere else that's not going to cost as much as Brady and try to run it back. But at the same time, it's like, oh, you're going to replace Brady with Phillip Rivers. You know, I don't know, man. It's a tough situation to be in.
At least it's just reports that they might go after somebody else. They're really giving Brady the option with this. I really don't feel like Brady should leave, but other options do look more appealing, like the Chargers. I don't like the Raiders option, like some people do, but I do like the Chargers. But that division is tough. That division is tough. That's not, he would be going to one of the toughest divisions in football, making that decision. So it would definitely be tough, but it would be LA. I feel like he would like that. And what do you make of people saying like the Chargers don't really have like a home fan base? Like, what do you think of that? Because they've said a few players have said they feel like every home game feels like a road game anyway.
Right. Well, for one, they don't even have a stadium, so that they probably don't really have a home fan base. You know, they were loved in San Diego. Like that hurt the San Diego fans a lot that they moved from San Diego. So you got that. Then you're sharing LA with the Rams, not to mention the million other teams they have. On top of that, you don't even have your own stadium, so nowhere you can even call home. You're playing out of a soccer stadium. So as far as the fan base, they probably don't. But bringing in Brady would bring in a lot of attention to the Chargers.
It definitely would.
Because you do have Hunter Henry, who's a great tight end, if he could stay on the field. You got Keenan Allen, one of the best receivers in the game. Melvin Gordon's coming back. You got Austin Eckler. Like, they have weapons. They have pieces there that will make it interesting. It would be a great move for the Chargers if they were able to pull it off.
Yeah, I agree. But speaking of other contracts that are in order, Dak Prescott is going through a different situation in Dallas where he's not getting his money. So it's coming off weird. It comes off as Dallas doesn't want him, but they don't want to lose him. Like, they're not giving him big money. I'm not sure what he's asking for in the background. It's like rumors that it's a lot more than what Wentz got, just due to him being healthier and things like that. He definitely wants more than Wentz. Definitely wants more than Goff. Are you opposed to that? Would you do that?
You maybe have to pay Dak, because where else are you going to go? What are your other options? You know, your other options are trying to pursue Brady. But then at that point, Brady has maybe 3 years. We don't know how much longer Brady has at a high level. So that's a gamble in itself. Dak is way younger But to me, I'm not a huge Dak fan. I don't think Dak will win you a championship. So if he's asking for more money than, let's say, Wentz, who I feel like is a better quarterback when healthy, I probably wouldn't do it either.
And the thing with the Dak and Brady situation is you have to franchise Dak at a point in time before Brady would even have to come to a decision. So you'd have to make that decision on Dak before you would even know if Brady is for certain. So the thing with that is you can't really use that as like a backup plan for Brady. I feel like you have to pay Dak because there's really nowhere else to go. Really nowhere else to go. The team is in win now mode. He's the leader of this team. You know, especially when he's talking like, hey man, if you franchise tag me, I'm not reporting. And that's very interesting just to hear because he's 4th round pick. Some people felt like he wouldn't do that just because it's not like Zeke where Zeke had a lot of money because he was in the 1st round.
Right.
Dak was in the 4th round. So he just wondered, would he do that? He stated that he would. And I'm all support of that, man. I mean, he's outplayed what he was supposed to be. He's a 4th round QB.
Yeah.
He's clearly outplayed that. You know, they didn't have the most team success last year, but Dak can point to so many other things that could argue his case for him to get his money. I would definitely pay him.
I mean, last year Dak arguably had his best year as a quarterback, so that definitely works in his favor. But like you said, just based off of who else will you get that will help you in win now mode, you get to look at the free agent quarterbacks, and your best option that's young is probably Jameis, and Jameis plays for both teams most of the time. So in that case, you do have to pay Dak. You just hope that you can come to some sort of agreement. But honestly, the Cowboys don't really need that many pieces.
They don't.
Like, they're really built to win now. A lot of their things are coaching, which we will see, with the coaching change. We'll see how much that changes things. But
I think that's what they're still trying to decide. That's was the big reason between the coaching change. Like, okay, this isn't working. It's easier to change the coach than the QB. Change the coach. Now let's see what the quarterback looks like. Thing is, his contract been up for 2 years now. You didn't do anything last year. You're going into another year where you're not doing anything. And I feel like that affects a player, especially on the way he plays. Like, he's playing with so much tension, and so I can't make any mistakes. I got to worry about my numbers. I got to make sure I get paid, whether it's here or somewhere else. So I got to look good. And I feel like that's why Zeke was so in support of him last year, because he knows, like, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Right now he's balling. Pay him. And so it's definitely a unique situation. They're kind of, I'm not going to say they're affecting his confidence, but you can't truly be a leader on this team when upstairs isn't behind you.
Yeah.
The players are always going to stand for other players, but, when he doesn't come through that door, when training camp starts, it's like, what we doing? Like, same thing with Zeke, but Zeke wasn't the leader of the team.
Right.
Zeke is a running back. Zeke can be filled in for a few weeks. That's not, you can't do that with Dak.
Nah, you can't do that with a quarterback at all. I'm sure he feels like, where's the loyalty,
Yeah.
4th round pick, like you said, outplaying, had his best year last year. It's like, yeah, you gotta pay him.
You can look at this in so many ways. Like, Tony Romo got paid for doing minimum. So he's looking at this like, what is this? Like, what am I not doing? And nobody's answering, especially with defense getting paid, running backs getting paid, O-lines that got paid years ago. So he's looking around. I'm the only one not getting paid. I'm the leader. Yeah. Like, what's going on?
And don't get it confused. If the Cowboys don't pay him, somebody will. There's a team out here that will pay that what he wants for sure. So
I saw that when Kirk Cousins got paid. Like, you will get paid.
Yeah, you'll get paid somewhere.
I can see like the Raiders paying him.
Oh yeah, for sure. Or let's say the Chargers strike on everybody, they would definitely pay Dak. Yeah. It's a market out there for him.
So, taking a switch to NBA, we saw the Lakers play their first game after the Kobe tragedy. They played the Blazers. They lost that game. Played the Kings. I don't know if it was the day after or 2 days after. Won that game. Beat the Spurs by a lot last night. LeBron had one of his best three-point shooting nights ever. I guess I just want to know your thoughts from the Portland game and just the emotions behind it. What you think of LeBron's speech, everything like that?
I love LeBron's speech, by the way. I know that was hard, definitely really hard to, for one, hold back those tears and be able to speak.
Yeah.
And just the way that he composed himself, I really like never forgotten. I love that, but I knew it was gonna be hard to play.
Yeah,
for sure.
Everybody said Braun was gonna drop like 45, 50. Yeah. It was just like, you know how much on his mind right now?
A lot on his mind. You could even see it on the bench. Like, he was checked out the game. Not saying that as a excuse, but at the end of the day, he's still a human being. All of those players on the Lakers, I'm sure, were extremely close with Kobe in one way or another. It's just a lot of emotion in the room, a lot on your mind. You're not really focused. And then you playing probably the hottest player in the game right now. And we all know how Dame's mentality is.
Yeah, Dame had 48 that game.
Right, that just fueled him. So he just took it to another level.
And they had already played a game where they did their tribute. So it had,
right.
They had got through the moment of playing their first game since Kobe. So it was totally different for them.
Yeah, but I think they've handled it well, though. They bounced back, scored 81 and a half. Yeah. So that's crazy, but they've handled it well. I mean, it's no easy way to handle it, regardless. They're doing the best they can. I really commend LeBron, though, for definitely saying he's going to carry that torch and carry that legacy on, and just being like a leader. You could just tell, like, he rose to that moment when he was speaking. And I think that was a great thing to see.
Yeah, I love the speech too. And I feel like a lot of people don't realize, when you're this big of a legend in your own right, and Kobe Bryant is bigger legend, not as big a legend, whatever you want to say, LeBron is a legend as well. When you see a legend pass the way that this just happened, and you play in that same jersey, in that same city, and you see you see it every day, like you're seeing what's happening, that was already his friend. No selfish stuff, but you got to think, like, I'm a legend too. Like, anything can happen to me any given day too. So I don't think people are weighing that enough that could be in his mind as well, versus just like, I got to go crazy for Kobe tonight. I got to win this chip for Kobe. He could be thinking a lot like, man, like, I'm thinking of me and my kids now every single time I'm with my kids.
Right.
Because like I say, life is bigger than sports. I said that last pod, but you got to realize, man, it's just so much other stuff than sports that you just got to sit down and think when something like this happens. And that really makes you think when it's somebody of your stature. Like, you're like, this can really happen to me.
Right.
When it's just, when you read things or you see things on the news, social media, it's just like, damn, like, that's sad to hear. But when it happens to somebody like Kobe, which we all still are like, this doesn't seem right. This doesn't feel right. Like, Kobe wasn't supposed to go out like that. You think like that could happen to any given person. So I don't think people take that into account enough, to be honest.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, it's definitely bigger than just basketball. Like you said, LeBron has 3 kids of his own. LeBron, like you said, is a legend of his own. So that definitely takes a toll. It could be something small.
Yeah.
If one of our close friends die, like, we're not going to be right. And we're going to think of everything. Like, man, that could have been me. I was just talking to him.
Which we've had that before.
Right.
We've had that happen.
And it's just, it's definitely a different thing. Everyone handles it a different way.
Yeah.
But nothing but respect for LeBron. For me, man, for real.
Yeah. Like you said, we lost friends in that same nature. So it's just like, we understand everybody grieves differently. So however they handle that is how they handle that. But I feel like it was too much weight on his shoulders that night that people were expecting from him. The speech was enough. The speech was more than enough. Like, that was amazing from him. But around this time of the year, last podcast, we talked about all-star reserves. And now we actually have the results. So I guess I'll read the names off. In the East, Jimmy Butler, Ben Simmons, Kyle Lowry, Chris Middleton, Sabonis, Jason Tatum, and Bam. So we pretty much were accurate on that. We left Sabonis out, but we did acknowledge that Sabonis was putting up some numbers and we could see him getting in.
Yeah. Only one I would argue would be Bradley Beal. I do think Bradley Beal deserves to get in. For who, I don't know. Because everyone who made it deserved to be in. We know I'm not the biggest Lowry fan, but he's having a great year. I can't deny that. And the Raptors are definitely overachieving than what people thought they were going to do.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that would be my only argument in the East.
Yeah, so in the West, Jokic, Dame Lillard, Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert, Chris Paul, Brandon Ingram, Russell Westbrook. I know I had Russ in mind once I finally came to a last name, but I don't think either of us had Chris Paul.
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
And I know when we were talking about it off camera, we even said that if anyone should make it off of Oklahoma City, it should have been Shea, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I believe Shea has been the best player on OKC this year.
Mm-hmm.
I know they inserted Chris Paul, and now, they're playing better and everything, but it's based off of the season they're having. I think Shea is having a better year, but Devin Booker should have made it altogether.
Yeah, that's really what I want to get into, especially when I get to these quotes, just of everybody's feeling about how they go about doing the All-Star game. So let me read this Devin Booker quote. It was always a goal, quote, "It was always a goal of mine, but it just reproves the point that the NBA is different from the game I fell in love with at the beginning of all the best players being in the All-Star game. Growing up watching that, and now it's an entertainment, drama, political field league, but we're a part of that now. It pays well, so I guess we should be quiet about it," end quote. So for one, I get what he's saying, but they can't have it just strictly off votes, because we would have saw people like Zaza Pachulia in the game years ago. So I get what he's saying, though, because coaches are putting a lot of stock into team success. I believe. That's why I believe Chris Paul was in there. That's why I think we agree that Lowry was in there. Giannis even spoke out and said, we got nearly 50 wins at the halfway point. We should have 3 All-Stars. That's not off, player skill, though. That's off team success.
Right.
So if that would have happened and Eric Bledsoe got in for one of these guards that wouldn't have got in, like Ben Simmons or Lowry, that would have been off team success, not off, purely player for player. So I get what he's saying. That's just the way it is right now, and I get that they feel like it's politically filled league. I don't know if I agree with that, but it's definitely entertainment for sure.
Definitely a popularity contest. I mean, let's face it, Devin Booker. I mean, NBA fans know who Devin Booker is. They know Devin Booker is a killer, a dog, but the entire world knows who Chris Paul is. Just off of strictly popularity, Chris Paul has been doing this for years, man. This Devin Booker, 4th year? He in Phoenix. Phoenix not good. Hasn't been good since Steve Nash. So, yeah, I mean, if you base it off of that, Chris Paul is going to get in every time. But I completely don't agree that team success should matter in the All-Star votes because it's an All-Star game. It's individual players. It's not All-Star, oh, y'all the best team, so y'all probably have the best players. No, that's not necessarily true all the time. I think player for player, Devin Booker at this point is better than Chris Paul. He's having a better season. The stats prove it. Just you can watch it and see it. Devin Booker should be an All-Star.
I just don't know how you would change it to make it fair to those players that are putting up great stats on above average teams, like in playoff hunts. We would have had Sabonis left out. Like we said, though, last episode, the Pacers they're just left off the board in a lot of things. Coach of the year, the players that actually play well, So this is the way to finally honor those teams that don't get a lot of marketing, that float under the radar, but are still a very good team. So this is the only way to really give back to them. Like Devin Booker is just a known name that we just know can hoop. It's just undoubtedly he could go get you a bucket. But the only way to really honor a player that is doing that in his own right on a better team is to give him recognition in the All-Star game.
It's a fine line because, Sabonis is playing great on the Pacers, no doubt. But there's a lot of good players on the Pacers. T.J. Warren's having probably the best year of his career. Malcolm Brogdon's having a great year. Miles Turner's playing well. It's a lot more than just a bonus. On Phoenix, outside of Kelly Oubre, who's playing well too, it's just Devin Booker. DeAndre Ayton barely played this year so far. And then you go to Washington, it's just Bradley Beal. no one can win by themselves.
Yeah.
We know that. So you're telling me, okay, that's why these trade demands happen. I'm not going to get any respect. Then I'm not going to play here.
Yeah.
What am I play here for?
Yeah, because I'm not getting recognized for anything I'm doing. And that's why I see the other side of it too. Like Bradley Beal is like, all I can do is hoop. And I'm averaging, I think he's averaging like 26. And I can't get an all-star game. Like, but I would have if I was, I guess they would say, politically filled league, and I was doing things on social media, and I was having these quotes, and then I would have got in on votes.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I see the other side of it, but
which is weird to me because the reserves are chosen from assistant coaches and players, and I know Bradley Beal and Devin Booker have a lot of respect around the league, especially from players.
That coach's percentage must be high.
It has to be.
Must be.
Their coaches have to hold more weight, or maybe it's more coaches voting than it is players.
Yeah.
Because I just can't see someone like, I don't know. I can't see someone like Jimmy voting for Sabonis over Devin Booker. Like, he's guarding him. You know, he's not guarding Sabonis. He sees the work that Booker puts in, the work that Bill puts in, the load that they carry. So, yeah, I don't know, man. It's definitely, maybe they need to add another player.
But then it would be playing time issues. It would be coaches already have an issue of like who to play down the stretch, and then with the new format too, you know, with however this score thing is gonna go, I'm really still kind of trying to understand that. I guess it depends what kind of score you have at the end of the third quarter, and then we'll play up to a certain point. There's gonna be a lot of players that want to play in that fourth quarter, especially when it's gonna be limited to a certain points that they got to reach.
Right.
So now it's like, if you have 13, 14 players on a bench and you only trying to decide the 5 best, you know, it's just going to make it even more complicated. And then from there, it will just be, well, all-star doesn't mean as much because everybody get in because there's more spots now. So that's why I'm like, it's really not going to be any happy medium. But the only way that these players that are on good teams that are in low market areas will get respected is by their all-stars. Like, that's the only way they're going to get it. Like, everybody's already going to know Devin Booker in his own way. Everybody knows what Bradley Beal can do. Everybody's not going to know what Sabonis is doing or can do if he didn't get this all-star vote.
I agree.
Nobody's going to walk around saying, like, you know, Sabonis averaging 18 and 13 if he don't get an all-star vote.
Right.
Only people in Indiana will know that, or a Pacers fan will speak on that. So that's the only way he's going to get recognized for those things.
Right. And even with you just saying it right there, I can even sit here and admit, you saying, you know, Sabonis averaged 18 and 13, it's like, oh, wow, yeah, that's cool. But if I come to you like, hey, Bradley Beal averaging 28, you're going to be like, damn, he hooping. You know, it's just that, like you said, it's just different. They're all small markets, but I guess it's the Pacers, you know. It's like the Pacers, bro. If it ain't Oladipo, nobody talking about the Pacers. So,
but they're a 4th, 5th seed, just trying to honor it, and I see that as the only way they really can.
Right.
Yeah. So, kind of the same thing with the Rising Stars game. I guess I'm gonna read that list. So for the world, they got Brandon Clark, DeAndre Ayton, Josh Okogie, I hope I'm saying that right, Luka Doncic, Wagner from the Lakers. I can't even, what is it, Mortez. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, RJ Barrett, Rue from Gonzaga. I can't even say his last name on the Wizards, though. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and Savi from Detroit. Not going to try his last name. On USA, Devontae Graham, Eric Pascal, John Morant, Jaren Jackson Jr., Kendrick Nunn, Miles Bridges, P.J. Washington, Trae Young, Tyler Hero, Wendell Carter Jr., who won't play due to an injury, so his injury replacement is Zion Williamson. And just like the All-Star game, people had their own quotes of why they felt like they weren't in the game and they were upset with it. We saw Jackson Hayes speak his piece about it, which, you know, he just went wild on IG, like just saying he was cool on the NBA and what they decided. And Michael Porter Jr. had his own quote, he knows I deserve to be in the Rising Star, be in that game, but I'm going to be in the playoffs, and that's where it's a lot more to me than playing in that game. So I'm just going to keep working, get my rest during the All-Star break, and be ready for the second half of the season, end quote. And I really like that quote from Michael Porter Jr. I mean, he's on a top 3 team in the West, I would say. I feel like they're probably that 3rd best team in the West, depending on what you feel about Houston. So I like his quote. Jackson Hayes was, we kind of talked about this before we started. I don't know where you would have filled him in at, but I feel like he was trying to prove the player that he can be when Zion wasn't playing. He was getting a lot of minutes. You know, he was definitely trying to prove himself, and I thought he was playing very well. But just like we said, it's really, I don't know where you would have filled him in at. Like P.J. Washington, maybe.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's kind of like the same way. Like, you know, P.J. Washington is playing well. He's just on Charlotte. If you don't watch Charlotte, you're not going to know this. This is an opportunity to say, like, hey, like, I forgot about P.J. Washington on Charlotte, because you're not just going to hear about Charlotte.
And then that's another thing, too. Charlotte is overperforming. Like, Charlotte was supposed to be probably the worst team in the NBA, and they're not. So, of course, a lot of that has to do with Devontae Graham as well. But for P.J. Washington to be selected where he was not supposed to be playing as well as he is.
Yeah.
And then you flip it, the Pelicans are underperforming. You know, a lot of people were talking, can the Pelicans be an 8 seed fighting in?
Yeah.
And, you know, they're not looking good right now. So, you know, he's not taking Jaren Jackson's spot. He's playing phenomenal. He's not taking Wendell's spot. Wendell was playing well.
And then Wendell gets hurt. Zion, obviously the next name up.
You know, Zion, the biggest rookie name since LeBron. And then Zion's been playing well, too, on top of that.
And they wanted Zion in the game anyway. Like, you know, they're trying to fill the seats for the night. So
gotta fill seats. So, I mean, your time gonna come, Jackson Hayes. You know, he is a energetic big. So he's gonna be around. He's gonna get his opportunities playing with Lonzo and Zion. You just gotta, I mean, he can make it again next year. That'll only be his second year. Just relax a little bit.
You know? Yeah, it was just a situation where it's just nowhere he was really going to fill in. The only reason I said P.J. Washington is because Charlotte got 3 players in. Memphis got 3 players too, but Brandon Clark is on the world team. So the only reason I said P.J. Washington because I feel like he was the worst of the 3 on the USA team. That was probably his only best argument to try to get over someone on that team. But I had no problem with P.J. being in. You know, he's been playing well. Just from Charlotte, people don't just see that though.
Yeah, I wouldn't take it. I mean, if you were going to replace anyone, like you said, it would be PJ. But man, Charlotte. Not saying Charlotte is playing well, but they're playing better than what people thought, and all of them as a team have been playing well, so they deserve some type of recognition. You know?
Yeah. So, trade deadline right around the corner. We saw the trade with Clint Capella going to the Hawks. 4-team trade, and we saw Robert Covington go to Houston. That was probably the big moves. I do like Gerald Green to Denver, even though I really like Malik Beasley. I really like his game. I felt, you know, that was somebody I like. I wish Denver didn't give him up, but Denver is really guard heavy. So somebody eventually was going to get moved. I just thought they would move a few guards and get like a big splash player, or like move a guard and Millsap and get a big, maybe another wing or actual 4 that they really needed. So, you know, I'm surprised they did like kind of a lateral move, but they did get a pick. So it's interesting to see what they do with that down the road. But as far as now, that really won't affect Denver. Their bench is a little, I like Malik Beasley more than Gerald Green at this point. So their bench is a little, it's not the same to me, but I feel like this gives more room for Michael Porter Jr. to get more exposure, get more touches, control a lot of the offense in that second unit. But the big thing about this is the Rockets. Like, they got the wing player that they wanted, defender, shooter. When they go small ball at the end of a game, they got the right lineup, I guess I would say. You know, they got Harden, they got Russ, they got Eric Gordon, they got Covington now, and then they'll have PJ Tucker. I would say that's probably the right small ball lineup if you play in the Warriors.
Yeah.
But the Lakers are here now. The Clippers are here now. Utah has Gobert. Like, I don't know how they gonna match up. And then there's reports that Woj just saying they're not gonna go after another big. They gonna stick with what they got. Tyson Chandler is their only player, I think, above like 6'7". So that ain't gonna cut it. I mean, Tyson Chandler ain't gonna play over 15 minutes a game.
Nah.
So
did
they get any better?
To me, no. To me, they got worse.
They got worse.
They got worse for sure. Man, you can't be that small. Like, your starting small forward is Eric Gordon, who's 6'2".
Who's really not a small forward. He's just
At
compensating
all.
himself because they already had a Pat Bev, a James Harden, or James Harden, and then it's Chris Paul. And now James Harden and Russ. He's not a 3, but he's just been playing that.
Right. Unless they, they start Daniel House. But now he's going into the Western Conference playoffs,
Mm-hmm.
and 2 of the top teams in the West have the 2 best small forwards in their game.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not. I don't think that's a good look for Houston. As far as the other moves, though, I definitely agree. I like Malik Beasley. I like his energy.
Mm-hmm.
He plays hard on both sides. Gerald Green can get streaky. Sometimes he's good. Sometimes he's not. They need to make one more move. I know I've been seeing that Gary Harris, they said, is available.
Talking about Denver, right? They
Yeah.
need to make a move. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So if Denver can maybe package Gary Harris and Millsap for...
That's got to be a big player in return.
Yeah.
That's giving up 2 starters.
Right.
I like Gary Harris. People know Paul Millsap, veteran, solid player, but he is getting older. You still got to get something really good in return.
Something,
for
yeah.
that.
But I feel like Michael Porter Jr. can be something good. Like, he's nice. Michael Porter Jr. is nice.
I wouldn't make that move too soon. It's just, it's very early to just assume that, like, no more health problems, he's going to be good.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you need to give that at least 2 years
Right.
to see what that's going to turn into. But they know they don't have enough. They know they need to make some kind of move. I felt like this move for them was a lateral move outside of them getting the pick. Like, they got Gerald Green and Houston first-round pick. So it came off like a lateral move to me.
Yeah. My favorite trade out of all of them for sure is Clint going to the Hawks. Because now you have Trey, but you paired him up with John Collins, who's already progressing, who's already good in his own right. And now you got Clint, who all he does is catches lobs and protects the rim. Like, that's what they needed. Now it's just a matter of them growing together and maybe adding a veteran here and there. But
yeah,
that's definitely, I think, the biggest win out of the 14 trade.
Yeah. So I guess going forward for each team, talking on the Hawks, they got to get another wing player, especially that can defend, help Trae Young out. But as far as the bigs, Trae Young off these screens is going to be very good. Very good. And then they got to get some bench production. I guess they'll just wait and see what their young talent grows into, and then they'll go from there. But it definitely was a good trade for them. As far as Houston, man, they got to get a big, like, something.
Mm-hmm.
They have to get something. Other than that, this was just, like you said, I feel like they have gotten worse. Because I don't know how they would match up against the teams they faced this year. Like, this was a move for, like, the old Warriors.
Yeah.
This is a move for that team.
Even still, Draymond is 6'9",
Yeah.
You got KD, who is
Draymond
taller
6'9"?
than his height. 6'8", 6'9", I mean, probably the same as PJ, but Draymond's definitely bigger than PJ for sure. He'll have more success guarding centers than they will.
I think Draymond like 6'7".
Probably, that's what they say
I think
PJ
like
is too,
6'7".
6'7". But, I mean, it's to the point now where, of course, this isn't going to happen, but let's say somehow the Rockets got matched up with the Grizzlies in the first round. The Grizzlies will give them a problem because they got 2 bigs down there. Any team with a capable big, which is almost every single team in the West.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, this is
just like, yeah.
This is for the old Warriors. Like,
right, yeah.
I don't know how. I thought Clint would actually play this year in a playoff series versus the other years because of the teams they would play, like a Utah, which he played in the Utah series last year. Mm-hmm. And then if they played the Lakers, if they played the Clippers, like he would play Zubac. And then when they go small, you could still go small because they have House and then they have Gerald Green. Like, they would still be okay.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, we didn't feel like they would beat the Lakers or the Clippers. But now we certainly don't feel like they even have close to a chance now. Like, they're going to get killed on the glass. Anybody attacks the rim on them, easy layup, like,
Yeah.
And Clint was the only one committed to defense.
Yeah.
100% outside of PJ Tucker.
Outside, obviously. Right. It almost feels like a panic move. It almost feels like...
I think it was a panic move. I think they know it's a panic move. I feel like they know Russ not going to be like this much longer. His shot clearly isn't improving. If his shot was going to get better, it would have got better. Mm-hmm. So I feel like it definitely was a panic move. I think they know they stuck with Russ. And I think they're just trying to do the best they can, which is, in their mind, keep getting shooters and defenders outside of James Harden and Russ.
Right. And James Harden's having terrible shooting year right now, so I'm sure that's nerve-wracking to them. But man, like, I like Robert Covington. Do not get me wrong. I think he's a great 3-and-D player.
No, because that's exactly what Philly needs right now.
Right. Somewhere like Philly, okay, I understand. Somewhere like even LA, the Lakers, like, I understand. You know, but Houston, that's what their whole team is. The whole entire team is 3-point shooters. Every single player on the team, except Russ.
In the way the shooters don't touch the ball as much in a possession as I feel like they should. Like they get the ball at maybe 9-minute mark. Might not see it again till 4-minute mark, just the way that Russ and Harden play. It's kind of like nobody's going to be shooting the best when nobody's in rhythm.
Right.
So to think Covington will come in and be whatever he's shooting from the field right now, it might dip a little bit the way you play him, especially the way the whole team has to react to rebounds now. Like the transition won't be the same when you have to commit 4 players to the rebound because everybody's 6'5" and under.
Right.
Like it's not even going to be the same tempo as Clint getting the rebound, outlet pass. Like now it's like, yo, we need help on the glass. Everybody got to commit. Now the transition isn't the same. Now you playing more half court. Easier to guard in half court, especially in a playoff series when people just standing around. If James Harden don't make an ISO 3, if Russ take this contested 2, people gonna live with that.
Yeah, all day.
People gonna live with that. So yeah, man.
I don't know. They better sign somebody. I don't know. I don't know who out there that they can sign.
Nobody.
Their best option, Hasheem Thabeet right now, but I don't know, man. Rockets, unless the only way the Rockets go far is if they're just hot. They're just hot, hitting threes. But then it's like,
that's not the MO in the playoffs.
It's not, because everything slows down. Everything gets more aggressive.
And then it's days off in between, and it's better game planning, and you facing better coaches. Like,
and defensively, they're just not there. If I'm a coach going against the Rockets, we're going to the post every time.
And then you have nothing to rely on once they miss some shots. You miss some shots, it's like we ain't got nothing because we can't stop you.
Nope.
So, the T-Wolves had got Malik Beasley, Hernan Gomez, Evan Turner, and an Atlanta first-round pick. And I saw Cat put some stuff on IG, like some confused faces, like the Drake face, and him looking back, like what the hell?
Right.
I
agree.
Yeah. I don't know what they trying to do. I guess they somehow still think they're going to put something together to get D'Lo. This ain't it, though.
Nah, nobody. Nothing
like,
in there.
That ain't going to work. They might as well chop that up.
You can include that Atlanta pick. But other than that, you keep everything else.
Well, Warriors in win-now mode next year, so if that pick not getting them a win-now wing player, Warriors cool on that. They're trying to get somebody on the wing, a 3-and-D person.
Or a big.
You think so? A big?
Well, they losing anyway, though. So Warriors going to have a high pick regardless.
Yeah.
So it don't really matter. If that was their plan to get D'Lo, I'm going to tell you right now, only thing getting D'Lo is Cat. So they not finna get D'Lo without giving up Cat. I don't know if they trying to do that, but
what you think of the Wiggins
rumor?
rumor?
It ain't going to happen.
What you think of that Wiggins rumor? They said Wiggins might be in that trade.
To get D'Lo? For what? Why would the Warriors want Andrew Wiggins?
Well, I think the thing with Andrew Wiggins would be the Warriors would have to believe enough that if he comes here, he'll be different than what he's been with Minnesota. You would have to believe in that. Other than that, he hasn't showed you anything that would make you do that.
And then that's still the Warriors' weakness is still going to be in their bigs. Like Wiggins not helping with that, and then Wiggins don't even fit with the Warriors. He can't shoot.
He's not a shooter,
and he not a lockdown defender. So
yeah, athletic guy, but never really clamped up.
It's like basically getting Iggy without the defense. They don't need that. So unless it's Cat, now if you're talking Cat, and I don't know.
Well, they did this move to try and keep Cat happy, and that ain't it.
This trade that they did.
Well, I don't think this specific trade, but they feel like this is gonna eventually be a bigger package to make Cat happy. Like they think these players, with whatever else they think they finna storm up, gonna get them a player to come in to play with Cat. These just aren't tradable pieces. Like
Hernan Gomez keeping Cat happy.
And the Warriors don't want no Evan Turner. They don't want no first round pick. They in win now mode. These picks not,
Yeah, I mean, Warriors, you talking about if the Warriors, they're going to get a high pick. So let's say the Warriors end up getting James Wiseman, who is considered the best big prospect in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
So now you just insert, and they keep D'Lo. So now you got Steph, D'Lo, Clay, Draymond, and James Wiseman. They can run it back. They talking about we finna go back to the finals, or they pushing for it at least.
Mm-hmm.
They are not concerned about, like you said, getting that first round pick. I don't know what year it's for, but they already know who they want. We all know what the Warriors need. Mm-hmm. There's no sense in trying to get these role players. I don't even know what to call them.
Yeah, the Warriors cool on all that.
Yeah,
that's over with. Speaking of Warriors, Iguodala been going at it with. Well, he hasn't really said anything. Like, he been the one. I don't know. I don't want to say handling this professionally. Everybody kind of just speaking a piece on the situation. But you saw Dylan Brooks say, like, yo, we can't wait till he gets traded so we can play him and show him what the Grizzlies all about. Like, I'm paraphrasing. Ja Morant was clearly behind that statement.
Mm-hmm.
You saw that emoji. Then Steph responds with Iggy holding the trophy, like, respect him. And then from there, Ja Morant just started answering all kind of tweets like, yo, I respect everybody, but, this is just what I am. Like, I'm a dog too, basically, is what I've been saying. So I know you mess with Ja.
Ja, definitely. Ja becoming one of my favorite players for sure. I've been a Ja fan since he was at Murray State. I just think he got that. He just has that dog in him. He just has that, like, I don't care who you are. I'm going to respect you, but I'm going at you. Like, I'm not scared because you Steph. You know what I'm saying? I look up to Steph, but if you step on this court, I'm going at you. Same way you finna go at me. So I think the whole Grizzlies, especially with the success that they're having this year, has like adopted that culture of we here, we gonna play hard, we young, ready to run, and we don't care. And I mean, personally, me, I like that. I mess with that energy because if you don't have that, then you're selling yourself short. What they look like, oh man, I wish Iggy would want to play with us, or I wish Iggy would believe in us. They like, forget Iggy. When he go to a different team, we going at him the same way we've been going at everyone else. They winning without him, so
yeah, I like Ja, bro. I ain't gonna lie, like, they shouldn't even be good right now.
Nah,
they shouldn't even be good. Ja going crazy. Everybody else, he uplifting them. He's 100% behind his people. That's going to take me to my next quote, though, with Spencer Dinwiddie. Quote, we definitely don't want to be the AFC. I don't think anybody wants to play Giannis Antetokounmpo in the first round. Don't put me on Giannis. I can't guard him. End quote. Dinwiddie going to get traded in the offseason. He getting traded in the offseason. Like, watch. He going to get traded in the offseason. I mean, what you think Kyrie said to this?
I think Kyrie read that and shook his head. That's what I think Kyrie did.
He gonna get traded in the offseason.
Oh.
He gonna.
He's wild. I mean, he not lying, but that's just something you don't say.
As a competitor,
you
never say this.
You shouldn't even think.
Never. I mean, he talking like he Jordan. You don't say this, bro. No. Like, my hot take, he going to be traded in the offseason. And I just don't think they want that in the locker room. Like, so when KD get back and they get the switch, it's going to be like, we already know your mindset. Yeah, like, anytime, they just going to switch, they going to attack him. Once you say this, you just mentally not in it the same. So, they just going to attack him.
Yeah,
and he already sound like he defeated.
He defeated for sure.
Like, I can't guard him.
I know if I was in that locker room and I heard that, I would be like, man, this is not someone I'm trying to go to war with. Like, this is not someone I'm trying to push for a championship with. Because the East runs through the Bucks.
And then this literally might be a first round matchup. That's why this question even posed. So
right.
Why even give your opponent what they call it, bullet point, like, just fuel?
Yeah.
Like,
it's like, man, then when you saw, who we finna attack.
I don't even know how you coach this, bro. I don't know how you get somebody out of that mindset. Like,
that's just like disrespect to Kobe altogether. That's like going against everything.
And old heads say this, bro. They say there's not a lot of dogs in the league no more. But this, like, nah.
I think that's a reason why I like Josh so much, because he has that in him.
Oh, Ja would have said something to him.
Yeah, like definitely.
Ja would have said something,
bro? Like, what you mean, bro?
Yeah.
What you mean? You're not trying to guard him. Like, you don't want to see them.
And Kyrie can't say anything. Well, Kyrie already done said too much this season. Like, right, Kyrie gotta just leave this one alone. He already got this image that he not behind his teammates. So Kyrie can't really touch this subject. Right. At least I hope he doesn't. Like, he shouldn't say anything to this.
I guarantee Kyrie don't feel like that.
No.
100%. As a competitor, nobody should feel like that. It's a difference between being realistic, being a realist, and then just sounding scared.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we can sit here all day. We know if we played Kyrie one-on-one, he would probably destroy us. He would kill us.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not finna sit here and be like, yeah, Kyrie, I ain't trying to guard you, man, because it's over for me. Like, where's your confidence? You are
like, you in the league too. Like, you in the league too.
And he averaged about 18. It's not like he a ball.
Yeah.
Like, where's your confidence?
Like, you in the league too. You put your shoes on, just like him. I'm good though.
But he ain't lying though, for sure. If that's
I'm just good on saying it.
I'm
just good on saying it. Like, R.I.P. Kobe, man, but I wish he would have heard this, bro. I wish he would have heard this, bro. Speaking of Kyrie, though, I think I'm going to finally admit that Dame better than Kyrie.
Mm.
I think that's my hot take for this episode.
Dame better than Kyrie.
I feel like I'm going to finally admit it.
I down there agree.
Team-wise, yes. 5-on-5, I would take Dame over Kyrie. Individually, I'm not taking Dame over Kyrie.
Why not individually? Just because of how Kyrie finished the term?
Just because
the handle.
Everything. I mean, Kyrie just different. I mean, Dame is different. Let me not say
that's on. Yeah, Dame been showing he different.
He is. But I think Dame is definitely...
Like, that ain't just Steph range no more. That's now Dame and Trae Young.
Yeah.
Like, that ain't just Steph range no more.
Yeah, and he doing it efficiently, too.
And I like the way Dame just behind his teammates, bro. Like, Kyrie just keep making the wrong decisions, like, especially publicly.
Mm-hmm.
He just keep making the wrong decisions to me. Dame will, like, build your confidence.
Dame is definitely a better... I guess you could say he's a better point guard. I mean, he's a better leader, for sure. That's not even a question anymore. Yeah, I mean, I guess, Dame is better. I mean, that's what we're talking. Leader, point guard of your team, best player on your team, carrying your team, Dame is better.
And it's not because of this little stretch Dame just went on. I think he had like 6 straight games, over 45, or plus 40. I've been debating on this for a while, and I've been holding on to Kyrie being better since like the second year in Boston when they lost first round. Because I had bet money on Boston to beat the Bucks. Like, I was fully invested in Kyrie.
Mm-hmm.
And I just feel like the way Kemba looking with them, different. Imagining Dame with that roster, different.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. They definitely two different players. Currently, I'm finally saying Dame better.
Yeah, I can't argue it. We've seen Dame will hit his teams take over series by himself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we've seen it, so I think no one can really. I guess you could say disagree when you're talking NBA 5-on-5 team ball.
Well, people will argue that Kyrie has a ring, and Kyrie can be your second option on a championship team.
So can Dame.
That's how I feel, but until you see that,
right,
people will argue that. But Dame is so good that Dame is given his own team this entire time. Like, he was drafted into this situation, took over the situation, and now he's just the man. And I had spoke for a long time saying, like, somebody got to get traded out of Portland, either him or CJ. Like, it's clear if they do anything, it's CJ.
Yeah, CJ out there.
So, I feel like Kyrie has had opportunities now, but that's another thing why I think Dame is better. Dame is just more consistent health-wise. Like, Kyrie gets hurt. The first year in Boston, that team was looking... I thought they would have beat Cleveland if Kyrie was playing. They went to Game 7. Fourth quarter, they just lost it because there was really no vets out there but Horford. Everybody was young. There was a lot of bad shots being taken. I feel like Kyrie was there. the series goes different. I could see Boston winning that, but I could also see Bron like just picking it up at the same time. So I don't know. But the way it was going when Kyrie was playing his first year in Boston, I feel like Kyrie and Boston could have went to the finals. The second year, they could have did some things, and Kyrie had things off the court. You know, I think he lost his grandparents, so it was just a lot of things going on with him.
Mm-hmm.
But nonetheless, that is a year where he was the man, and he showed bad leadership. We've seen that again.
Yeah.
You know, like the quote was like, you know, they don't have enough. We need one or two more pieces after KD get back. You wanted the pieces for one.
Right.
You shouldn't need one or two, but they gonna get another one because then he gonna be out. So yeah, man, I'm going with Dame, bro, right now.
I ain't gonna argue that. I'll take that.
Yeah, so that's my hot take, man. Really not that much left. I just wanted to speak on a few baseball things. Mookie Betts got traded to the Dodgers, bro. Like, those betting odds went from 7-1 from 4-1 that they win the whole World Series. Like, you know what those betting odds mean.
Yeah.
Like, there's going to be a LA versus New York World Series. Like, this is a huge trade, bro. Like, he's a great right fielder, great offensive player, like, good locker room guy. Just won the World Series in 2018, even though that's a little skeptical because of the whole cheating thing going on that we still don't have all the details about. But nonetheless, they won the World Series in 2018. Like, it's just a fact. Like, he in his prime, bro, like, he's 27. Like, they gonna pay him too. Like, the Dodgers definitely made, like, a steal, bro. And then they didn't really give up that much. They also got David Price, a pitcher who killed the Dodgers in 2018 World Series. Like, they got a steal in this trade. So that was like my baseball take. I had to mention that because that was like such a big trade. That was a huge trade for the Dodgers. It's no doubt that they're going to go to the World Series. I don't know if they're going to win because, you know, I'm a Yankees fan. I'm going with my Yankees if they get there. They should have been there the last 2 years. They definitely got cheated. Like, it's ridiculous. But the Dodgers got like a crazy roster, bro. They got a crazy roster. And then I wanted to touch on these college quotes from Tom Izzo and Mike Krzyzewski just addressing these fans. Basically, Mike Krzyzewski got mad that people in the student section were yelling, "Come sit with us," to Jeff Capel. And for people who don't know, Jeff Capel was on Duke's coaching staff for nearly a decade. It was a long time. It could have been more than a decade. I have no clue. He's been on that staff for a long time. You know, Mike Krzyzewski just did his thing addressing the fans. Like, it was crazy. Like, the fans, like, shut up immediately, bro. He was telling them, don't say nothing. Like, if you want to go see the video, like, it's out there. Tom Izzo addressing fans that are tweeting things at his players. And he said, quote, like, they're talking to us as if we're 5-20 when we're 17-6, I believe he said. You know, I'm paraphrasing right now, but I just wanted to address what fans are doing in college basketball and why they may be doing it. And I really just feel like it's just because college basketball is really not that much going on. There's no really star players in college basketball coming off the year that we had with Zion. Like, that year was such a high bar year from just wanting to watch what would happen next in college basketball. Now it's just like no LaMelo Ball, no RJ Hampton, no Wiseman. You know, 3-4 of the top 5 picks aren't even playing college ball right now.
Yeah.
And then Anthony from North Carolina hurt, probably won't play the rest of the year. Like, you know, I just feel like something is going to spark attention in college basketball, and it's not the players right now. And I feel like it's the power of, like, social media. People just leaving their house feeling like they could just say whatever.
Yeah.
I definitely feel like that's what happened at the Duke game. Obviously, social media, people just going crazy. So I feel like it's just the power of social media, just people behind cameras thinking they can just go to a game, say whatever, or they can just be at home behind their phone and say whatever.
Right. I mean, I completely agree with, especially with what Tom Izzo said, because at the end of the day, those college athletes are putting their heart and soul into that program, into playing, into the school, into everything. So, you know, for us to sit here and bash them, criticize them, or whatever the case may be, that does take a toll on them. Like, they see that.
Yeah.
It's not like we sit here talking about LeBron. I mean, you shouldn't do it regardless, but 9 times out of 10, you know, you do it to LeBron, probably not going to see it. But these college students, just like us, like right outside of our age group. So, you know, you come home from practice or come home from a game at 11 o'clock, been up since 5, had to go to school, do your work, blase, practice, come home to see that you suck, you trash, this and that. Come sit with us in the stands, you know, whatever the tweets are saying.
I don't know the tweets, but they were sounding like they were bad.
Bad, right.
Bad enough that Izzo got to address it in his own press conference without being questioned. Like, he just had to address it.
Right, because I'm assuming that that's affecting them. Like, it's making them feel bad about themselves. Maybe even questioning, should they even still play? Should they, you know? So, if you're doing that, man, chill out with that, man. Like, that's not a good look for real, because you wouldn't want someone critiquing you and what you do, putting your heart and soul into it. Like, it will hurt, you know? So, yeah, man, college basketball is definitely down, though, for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely not what it was, actually. But I think they just came off such a high last year that it's different. But like my man said, MSU fans, chill out. Other than that, that's it for episode 2. Talk to y'all next time.